Now, the question to be predicted is, though, more to a local news question is, what will Yakima City Council do
Yeah.
with the issue of putting a strong mayor proposal on the ballot?
Mm-hmm.
Will they take testimony tomorrow night and then decide to say, okay, community, you can have your say? Or will they say to the proponents, look, if you feel this strongly, then put some effort in and see if the community is with you from the start and do a signature gathering campaign. Those are really the two options. If the proponents want to move this thing forward, they either do it by getting the community to sign on board and then put it on the ballot, or they say to the council, look, there's enough concern and question out there and controversy and everything else that would be the responsible thing for you to do is to fast track it to the ballot and let the people have their say. One of the individuals that's part of this whole project is Yakima County Commissioner Mike Leita. He joins us on the phone. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Thanks for being here, Mike. I trust you're going to be at council tomorrow night?
Yes, I was at the last couple of council meetings, actually. The last council meeting, I wanted to go and listen to the community and hear what they had to say about our proposal. And I was actually shocked. There was a lot of anger expressed during that meeting, and we listened. We did interact with some various individuals to see how we might improve the charter that is being proposed, and that has been completed. So it will be before the city council tomorrow night to ask for their leadership to allow this to go to the voters and let the voters speak.
You got some legal input and did a little extra tweaking, and so really what's going to be considered tomorrow night is the fine-tuned version, right?
Yes, exactly. We've been very diligent about this, and we've interacted with numerous community members. So this has come forward with a lot of forethought. Bottom line here is, if we do nothing, that is not an option. We understand our difficulties our city has been facing, and without a whole lot of direction, and despite our well-intentioned efforts, the community continues to struggle with some long-standing community problems. I've been a business owner for most of my life and served as a county commissioner for nearly 15 years. I was elected and saw the other side, if you will. I've lived in Yakima most of my life. I'm doing this because I love Yakima, and I believe that strong leadership now needs to come forward and deal with the ineptitudes that have prevailed far too long within the city of Yakima through a bureaucratic morass. These are some real difficult issues, and we just simply need to bring focused leadership back to the city of Yakima. We enjoyed that for many years under the leadership of a previous city manager, Dick Zase, who had been here for, I think, nearly 30 years, and that was an oddity. But in the last several years, we've had, since Dick, 3 city managers. We have an interim city manager. I wish him well. But simply, we are operating with a system that needs to be improved. We need focused leadership. We're actually operating a business here with a board of directors, but no CEO.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting way to put it. I was part of the council that voted to put this on the ballot before, and I think it's important for me to clarify.
Thank you.
When I was on the council, coming out of the Dick Zase era, we were presented with the challenge of who do we replace Dick with, and can we find that person if there is some unsettled portions of the community that think we should have changed our form of government at that time. I was against the change at that time, but I voted to put it on the ballot because that's the best way to know.
Yeah.
You know, you can have your opinion. I had mine. I thought, look, we need to get an answer to this, and we need to expedite the answer. The newspaper this morning, meet Alex Meyerhoff. We've got an interim situation here, and that's good in the interim, but it's not what we want or need. So I'm with you. I say put it to the ballot. We'll let the people have their say. Yeah, they had their say before. A lot of water has gone under the bridge since then, and the difference was 700 and some votes. So a 300 vote swing last time, which is hardly anything, would have changed our form of government then. Yeah. So given all that's happened since, I think you guys have an excellent case. Clearly, the need is there, and I know of your sincerity. I know Dave Edler's sincerity. This is for the good of Yakima, and I hope that like-minded people will turn out tomorrow and help make the case to offset, which is what you saw, Mike, anger and of the smell of racism in the air, accused and implied. We got to tamp that stuff down and get past that to become the city that we are meant to be.
Dave, I really agree with you, and I thank you for your leadership and your time on that city council. I watch from across the street. I've interacted with all of the city council members that are seated now, and it is a very challenging position. City council people are well-intentioned, but they're part-time, and they can't see all of the daily goings on, and they only get very filtered information from the bureaucrats. I mean, let's call it the way it is. The people that are in there, Alex, I'm sure he's a well-intentioned, very gifted individual. Number one, he's going to be compensated well over $200,000 a year for his services coming into a community that he doesn't know very much about. But despite his best intentions, the council needs to, again, give focused priorities to our community. And I would like to say one thing. I have to believe at the salary that we're offering for an elected mayor will bring forward the best of Yakima, the city of Yakima, that there are very many gifted individuals in this community that can take that leadership role and bring focus to our city council and to our efforts to solve some of these long-standing problems. And some of those include the social and economic disparities that we have been dealing with for far too many years.
Agreed. It's going to be interesting because I consider you a conservative kind of individual with a clear eye and a clear grasp of things. I'm concerned that the city gets distracted from things that really aren't the expectation or the job of city council. There are some things that the city can do. There are some things that the city can't do, and there are things that we should do. And when we're doing the things we shouldn't, how far does that take us away from the things we should be doing?
Absolutely.
There's a focus. It's a municipal government. We need to address those things that were within the city's purview, and then work alongside our community partners in those other areas. But to make the city the spearhead, we're now talking about housing on the city council. I don't recall any conversations yet with builders, and maybe there's things going on that I'm not aware of. But before the city becomes the arbiter of who should build what and where, might be nice to incorporate some of those other folks in the building industry. That sort of thing is the stuff that I see and think that maybe we're out over our skis. Tormy's never out over his skis, Mike.
Yeah.
I want you to know that. But
yeah, well, I had to give up skiing because I started to fall more often. But the reality is here. We need focused leadership as a community. We need to get past all of our individual fragmented thoughts and ideas. We need to collectively come together as a community and listen to one another. And simply put, in the last council meeting, if that's listening to that, sadly, that spoke for itself, and that spoke exactly to the point why we need to regain a focused leadership. We are a ship adrift in the sea without a rudder, and we're not looking for control. We're looking to make this city a better place.
There you go. Mike Leita, appreciate your call. Lance, any questions
All
for
right,
the good commissioner? Got to be kind of feels good to go back and have a commissioners meeting with just two others and get along and get business done, right?
Well, we have our challenges. You know, my 15 years of tenure have not been easy, and I will tell you that we have very gifted people, but one of the primary responsibilities as a commissioner, much like a strong mayor, is to bring people in that will be held accountable. There's two things that you don't tell a county commissioner these days. You never asked, or that's the way we've always done it. We should not succumb to the easy answers that our staff is telling us, because after all, our first and foremost responsibility as a county commissioner and as a strong mayor is to watch the resources that have been given to us by the taxpayers. I see, and we have also experienced being spoon-fed certain information to get certain outcomes, and all the while the solution for government bureaucracy is always about more money, and that has to stop. That's why we are looking for a strong mayor, someone that will come in and be full-time watching the purse strings and watching what is being done, and more importantly, setting priorities by which we hold our paid staff accountable to achieve.
Well said, Mike
All
Leita.
right.
Yep.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, gentlemen.
Yeah,